Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening if you're in the UK, or good whatever it is, wherever you are. So we're back with another edition of the Poetry of Painting. And this week I'm going to be joined by Markey Mark Symmonds. So I will bring him onto the screen at the same time as saying a big welcome to everybody who's watching, whether you're watching live or replay, and welcome to Markey Mark. Hi there, Mark. How are you doing?
Hi, you're right. Hi, well, good to be back.
It's good to have you back. We haven't had you on the show for quite a while, actually. Far too long.
No, it's been a little while.
It
But
has,
you've
yeah.
had some great guests in the meantime and that, so
Yes,
that's been really
and
good.
thank you very much for recommending Steph Percival to me.
Oh,
Lovely,
she's
lovely
fantastic.
lady, wonderful
Yeah,
poet as well. And she's been on the show a couple of times now, and it's been amazing. So thank you for that recommendation.
yeah.
Really pleased
And
with that.
the Charles Rennie Mackintosh poem last time was really good. Um,
Yes.
and that because it resonates because we've got a house in Northampton at
Ah,
76 Derngate, I think it is,
yes,
that's dedicated to Rennie Mackintosh.
that's the one.
Um,
Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
all decorated in his style and stuff. So yeah,
Yeah, certainly something to come and look at if I'm up that way at all, because it
yeah,
sounds like a
yeah. One of
really
the main
interesting
things
place. Yeah, yeah.
that and our museum, which is has got a lot of the stuff around the shoe industry in as well.
Oh, of
So and
course.
then we've got
Yes.
Abington Park, which has got a museum, and that a lot of that is dedicated to the old Northampton Regiment.
Oh,
From
right.
years ago. And then if you go
Yes.
upstairs, they've got, or did have, I don't know what it's like now, they've refurbed it. They had old toys and things like that up there.
Oh, right. Fascinating. Yeah, because that's where Steph
Yes,
and
yeah.
her poetry group meets, I think, isn't it? At the museum.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And because Northampton, I mean, the thing that Northampton was famous for and still is its shoes.
Mm.
Um, and, and although, a lot of a lot of the shoes that are manufactured in Northampton Sheer are very high end shoes. I mean,
Mm.
you're talking very top quality shoes. And there's a lot of people like Robbie Coltrane and that come down to Northampton and get their shoes.
Oh, right.
And that. So
Right.
yeah, and
Yeah.
one of the Northamptonshire shoe factories was the inspiration for Kinky Boots.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
I
the story of
remember
how
that
they
one.
survived.
Wow.
So yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
and I mean
Steph
that's the other
says,
thing.
so, so Steph said,
Sorry.
yes, I think they used to meet at the museum rather than still meeting there. So,
Yes,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It's got a lot of history and a lot of interesting places to visit by the sound of
It
it.
it has, and it's becoming a bit of a hotspot for movies as well. There's a lot of movie companies that are using stately homes and
Mm.
buildings around Northampton to actually film movies. So we're becoming quite a centre of the movie industry over here as well. So
Wow. Excellent. Well, one of the main reasons you're on the show. Oh, Chris said that's a great film. I think that was the Kinky Boots one. It was a really good film, yes.
yes, yeah,
So, Mark, you've done me the honour again of writing yet another poem about one of my paintings, which I'm always so honoured when all of you poets write about my paintings, because you don't have to, and I just feel it's such a lovely thing for you to do. And it fascinates me to hear how you all interpret the images that you get sent. So this week you decided on a painting called Summit Trail, which
yes,
is actually an older one of mine, but still painted with knives, but this time using acrylics. And it's one, say, it's quite a while ago now, and I think it was 18 by 24 inches, this one, so a reasonable size painting. And this was the one that I believe said something to you and sparked off some ideas.
yeah, and it kind of spoke to me, and it's slightly different to your normal genre, and and to add some depth to it, it's kind of it's the Rocky Mountains in America,
Mm.
and that in itself conjured up some ideas, and so I was able to do something a little different to how I normally write something. But yeah, so I thought it'd be quite a good challenge to do. So I hope people like what I've written.
I'm sure we will.
Do you want me to go for it?
Yes, if you're ready.
Okay, yeah. Where is this America? The towns that never sleep, the God-fearing people, the First Amendment, the right to bear arms. Yet here is the tranquility, fragility of white gesso canvas, the sun warming the face as shadows cast images of noir from clusters of light of life's oasis in a desert. Ridge luring unsuspecting further up to the summit. Across breathtaking land, it takes your hand and leads you to the promised land. Tranquil thoughts wrestle through my head as cold bites my toes to the core. The peace shouts loud, ringing in your ears. No guns, no neon, no crowds. Just the top of the mountain reaching for the clouds. Rock covered in white snow shrouds. Feeling alone, but not lonely. Just being here at one with the wilderness, the beauty of the danger that lurks ahead, override in my head as I surge forward to see all the secrets that the canvas will reveal to me. And that was it.
Wow, that is wonderful, Markey Mark. Honestly, it really is. And do you know, you have somehow from that painting, you've picked up on so many of the things that I feel about those particular sort of places. You know, I mean, I love skiing. I love that area. It's just, you know, you've encapsulated so much of what I feel in your words.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I love it. Really, really good. I think that's one of your best yet. I
Thank
really
you.
do.
That's great of you to say.
Yeah.
I mean, what helped me, I think, was it being America, and America has this reputation of being almost having cities that never sleep and being this hustle and bustle, and this is a desert in the middle of America, tranquil, you know, where you can be alone but you're not lonely. And
Lovely
thanks for
Steph.
that, Steph. That's really nice. And yeah, it's kind of, you know, that place of being there amongst all this wilderness, and you wouldn't know you was in America. You know, and this is like kind of a different side of America. It's and I like the fact of the white and the blacks. It's almost like a black and white film, and the shadows coming off. And I can remember one of the guys I used to like to watch is the guy who does Joy of Painting, and he used to use a lot of white gesso on his canvas, and so that it brought back memories of that, him saying about the white gesso and things like that. So, you know, and that ridge line, your eyes are just drawn to that ridge line. And you just want to carry on and find out what's further along and keep going. And I think the way you've painted that is really good. The way it makes you want to go into the painting.
And I like the way as well that you said about that summit and the ridge and the dangers and that, because with those sort of ridges, you've got as you're looking at the painting, the prevailing wind coming up from your right, probably, and
Right.
it can create some real overhangs of snow, which when you're on it, unless you can see it from the side, like here, you wouldn't know. So going out, not realizing underneath that snow could be a massive drop.
Yeah,
you know, so it's so important when you, but also that it's like a shelf of snow that's sticking out over the drop the other side of the ridge. know,
Yeah.
and unless you know what you're doing up there,
Yeah.
and you know where these overhangs might be, and to
Yeah.
avoid them, stay back, you know,
Yeah.
it can be a very dangerous place, but you know, it's got such beauty as well. But
Yeah,
you
well,
know,
this is it, and that contrast of that, it is a very dangerous place. Even just the cold up there, it is, would be so dangerous. And
yes,
yet there's this beauty, and I likened it to a desert because it is a desert, and you just get the opposite in a desert, that you get the real heat during the night, during the day, but at night it is sub-zero temperatures.
yes,
Um,
yes.
you
And on
know,
a sunny day like this, it can be quite nice and warm near the top.
yeah,
But at night, when the sun goes in, different
yeah.
story. Or, you know, the weather can change so quickly in that sort of environment. You know, you need to have, if it's a lovely day when you set out, you've still got to have all the protective clothing, warm clothing, and everything, just
Yeah,
in case, because it can change within, you know, almost within minutes.
yeah,
And
and I
then
think
it's
that,
a very
yeah,
different story up there. It can be, you know, I've been at the top of places in America like that where it's been, you know, minus 25 and frostbite conditions at the
yeah,
tops there. So you've really got to cover everything up. And
yeah. I can
yeah,
imagine. I
yeah.
mean, the highest I've been is one far, which is in the Black Mountains, and
Oh,
when we
right.
walked up that, um, you start off in the valley. We were in t-shirts and
Mm.
sunglasses, and by the time we got to one far, we had all of our dry kit on, all of our wet kit. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face. There
Oh,
was fog, there was rain, it was smashing in on your face. And yet we'd been in sun in the valley. you know,
yes,
and it
yes.
just kind of brings it home to you how dangerous it is just in an environment like that. So you go
Mm.
up in somewhere like the Rockies that's a lot higher, and you've got the
Yep.
snow as well.
Yes,
That
yes.
really multiplies danger. The
Yeah.
other thing that it comes to mind as well, because this runs through from Mexico into Canada, and I remember sitting in a talk one day from a guy called Chris Friend, who's a disabled guy who done a lot of awareness training, and he was doing some awareness training, and he shows this picture of a snowcat up in the Rockies in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
and he was actually in his wheelchair on the top of the Rockies, and their snowcats there actually have um, lifts on them, and he could wheel on, and it would
Yeah.
drop him down onto the snow.
Oh, brilliant.
And I always remember that because Canada's actually a really accessible country.
Mm.
And I remember that picture of him up on the Rockies, and it was purely because their snowcats, as standard, have got
Yes.
like a side lift on them.
Yeah.
They
Wow.
can just lower him down onto the snow.
I've been on a snowcat in Colorado. I don't, there wasn't anybody disabled on that trip, so I don't know if it had a lift or not. It'd be nice to think that it had, so
Yeah,
that it was available to everybody to go up
yeah,
there. But the other
yeah. I
thing
don't,
with this sort of area is that um, where this was based on, it's at about 12,000 feet. So you've got another danger there as well, which is altitude sickness. A lot of
yeah,
people get quite well, you know, it can be very dangerous and you can die of it, obviously, but quite a lot of people get affected by it at that sort of level. So, you know,
yeah.
it's another thing to factor in. You can't just go up there and expect to do, you know, a really hard hike every day without acclimatizing to some degree or
Yeah,
other.
that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and when you think, I mean, when you think that it's a problem there, you think of the problem they have then when they scour Everest.
Yes.
I mean, just
Yes.
to get to base camp is,
Mm. And
um,
that's why they have to
horrendous
stay there
journey.
at base camp for quite some time as well, isn't
Yeah,
it, to
to
acclimatize? So
acclimatise. Yeah, yeah,
yes, yeah, I mean, it's I think it's amazing what people can do, but
yeah,
you know, I think the Rockies are fine for me. I've got no ambitions to go up Everest, and there's, you know, there's climbing and heights and things
yeah,
which, you know, when you've got drops, I'm not good with heights like that. But
no,
yeah, beautiful though it is, yeah, I won't be scaling Everest anytime soon. That's for sure.
No, me neither. Me neither. I'll leave that Sherpa. I'll leave that to the Sherpas.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes, yeah. So, have you got anything that's coming up, or any things that you think you
No, I
might?
mean during the summer we often get we sometimes get some events come up. I'm involved or keep in touch with a writing group called Weaving Words,
Mhm.
which is a poetry writing group. And so sometimes from there I get a shout saying, "Oh, we've got so and so. We've been asked to provide some poets for such and such an event. Are you interested?" So if I can get along to those, I will. And they're quite good because often I can take the family with me, so that makes life a lot easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got nothing specifically planned really. I'm very much at a standstill at the moment
Mm.
with everything. But again, as the opportunity arises, I will start probably, hopefully, getting back into it
Mm. So,
over the
have you
next
not
few
been
months.
writing very much recently?
I haven't. In fact, I looked through what I'd written last year, and I didn't write a huge amount last year. Though I got quite a few, but
Mm.
nowhere near what I was writing. But no, I haven't written much. It's only been the couple that I've done for you this year. But no, I'm not writing a lot at the moment. But then when I get a chance to, I'm hoping to do some writing and submit to some of the magazines and things like that, and go down that
Good,
route. And I still
good.
got, I still need to get my second book on the go as well,
Mhm.
and get that up and running. Was going to do it a year ago, and we never got we kind of pulled out because of circumstances at home.
Mm.
So it was a case of it's all in place to go.
Mm.
I've just got to really press the button and say to the publisher, yeah, let's do it, and get
Yeah,
that running.
yeah. Life
So
gets in the
that'll
way
be.
sometimes.
It does, yeah. I mean, it's very much got in the way, over the last few years, and I've got a few health problems and that I'm to look after. So it's been a bit hit and miss really. And I thought, well, rather than try and get to things and promise people stuff, I'm not going to do that. I'd sooner fade into the background for a bit and go a different
Mm.
route than let people down really.
Yeah. And not put the
Basically,
stress on
not.
yourself.
Well,
Mm.
this is it, because a lot of the stuff I go to, I'm having to travel out of county anyway. So,
Right.
it's not just 2 hour poetry session. You've got an
Mm.
hour each way traveling as well. So,
Yes,
it's on
yes,
4 hours and that,
yeah.
so, but yeah, I will continue writing and that. So I've just got to get my head round to get myself organised to get stuff written and off to places, and also to make sure I've got everything down that I've so far published,
Mm.
both online and in books, because what a lot of these magazines and that when they're calling for articles, they don't want something that's been previously published.
Hmm.
So
Yes,
you've got to
yes,
be careful what you do send them.
yeah,
So
absolutely, yeah.
so what have you got coming up?
Oh, but just before I tell you, Chris said that evidently Mallory climbed Everest without oxygen.
Yes, yeah.
It's believed but not definitely known if he reached the top. But I mean, even
No,
getting near the top would be a fantastic achievement
yeah,
in my book. But
absolutely,
so yeah, so without
absolutely.
oxygen, goodness. So
Yeah.
yes. So what's happening here? Well, in fact, this afternoon I did a demonstration of preparing a canvas with gold leaf and then painting in oils on a Blue Peter fashion one I prepared earlier as well. So a big shout out to the East Grinstead Art Group, who were absolutely lovely, really lovely group of people.
East
Um,
Grinstead, gosh, that's
yeah.
Sussex.
It is
Yeah,
absolutely East
the place
Sussex.
where the
Yes.
birds never sing.
Oh, oh
Yeah,
right.
if you go down there,
Okay.
you very rarely hear birds sing in that area.
Oh,
Yeah,
well, I didn't hear any today, but mainly I think that's because the rain was just hammering down so much that they were all taking shelter and keeping
oh,
quiet somewhere. I don't blame them
yeah,
either. It was horrid weather, absolutely horrid.
yeah.
So that was today, which was lovely. And then we've got the Blooms Art House show, our annual show, coming up at the end of this month.
Oh, Blues.
Um,
What's happening there then?
Well, what we do each year is an online art show, an event, and there's actually 7 of us, the core Blooms members, but we've actually got some guests for this show again as well. So there'll be 11 international artists. So we've got artists from all the way from Australia, Italy, Switzerland, England, Scotland. So it's quite international.
Brilliant.
So we've got a show on the evening of Saturday the 28th, Friday the 28th, and then 2 shows on Saturday the 29th, one at 10 in the morning, the other at 7 in the morning, which is the same time as the Friday, and then one on the Sunday morning, the 30th at 10 a.m. again.
Oh,
So
right.
that's all UK times.
Yeah.
And we're quite a diverse group. So obviously there's my landscapes and also my portraits in there. Steph said, am I there for all of the shows? Yes, I will be, Steph. So in fact, all of the artists should be there for all 4 shows. So do come along. And if you can't get round everyone in one show, come back to the next one. Come and spend some time with us. It'd be great to see you there.
And you say that's online?
It's online.
Right.
It's
So will
on.
that be streamed via your Facebook page?
No, it's actually going to be a Zoom call, but it's a
Right.
Zoom like most people have never seen it before, because each of the artists will be in their own little studio room.
Right.
So you can, as a guest, you need a ticket.
Yeah.
But in fact, the tickets are free. But because it's
Yeah.
Zoom, you need to register for a ticket. So you've got the link to be able to log in. And once you're logged in, there's a room where you can go and just see a video to show you all of the different artists, so that you can think, oh, I'd like to go and see that one, and make a list. And then you can move yourself to any of the rooms of the artists and go and have a chat with them, like the demonstration I was doing today, preparing a canvas with gold leaf.
Oh, wow.
People might think, well, how do you do that? What's that all about?
Yeah.
Come and ask me. Come and have a chat. It's not a selling thing. If somebody wants to buy, that's great. But it's a show that is for us to meet you and you to meet us, and to answer questions about what we do, how we do it. I've always wondered what this meant. Can you tell me? Yeah, absolutely. And questions that people often feel embarrassed to ask in a gallery, because they're all a little bit sort of, snooty and stuffy, and people are worried about looking silly and not knowing stuff. Well, if you don't know it, ask and find out. Otherwise, you'll never know it. And we're very happy for people to come along, ask us questions, ask how I paint my landscapes, ask how I do my portraits. Then we've got Steph, who can tell you about her fibre sculptures. We've got Julie, who does encaustic wax.
Cool.
We've got Elisa, who does wonderful portrait type paintings, and some are actual portraits as well of women, figurative work. Cindy does animal portraits. Katerina, one of our guests, does again paintings of wonderfully spiritual type women. Sammy does abstracts. Mac does gum sculpture. Victoria does. She does some animals like birds, but in a sort of natural setting, and some landscapes. And Alison, who also does abstract, and Steve, who does these amazing lamps, like lamps you can put on a table or a side unit or whatever, and they're made out of pipe work, but they're just incredible. So there's loads of things, and it's free. Come along and see us and have a chat. And I think already know Sammy, Mark, don't you? So
yeah. In fact,
hello.
We need to look at what we were going to do with Sammy, because we were going to do a project with Sammy, weren't we?
Absolutely, and we should do that, especially while you're not snowed under with other things at the moment. We need to get you in on that one. So so it's working up to that at the end of the month, which is going to be absolutely fabulous.
So where can we get the link for that?
I will put the link in the comments after the
Brilliant.
show's finished, to the Blooms website, and then you'll be able to book tickets on there. I'll say
Fantastic.
they are
Sounds
free, but you
really
need
good.
it. You need a ticket to be able to get into
Yeah.
the show, being on Zoom. And also, once you've registered for a ticket, there's an online flip book, so you can actually flip through the pages electronically and read all about all the individual artists that are taking part as well. So
Oh,
you might, you might want to do that in advance and think, oh, I really like the look of that one, and so on. And if anybody comes along, do come and say hello to me as well. Even if you want to go and see everybody else, that's fine. But come and say hi. It'd be lovely to see you there.
yeah.
And
Brilliant.
it's just very, very laid back. It's fun, and we've had people that have said, well, I'll just come along for 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and they've stayed for the full 3 hours of that show and come back for another show because they didn't get the time to go around and see everybody.
Uh,
And some people may want to come along and have a look and learn about what we do, but if they don't want to be on camera, if they don't want to talk, if they just want to look, that's fine as well. We don't
yeah.
mind at all. Just come
That's
along if
good.
you'd like to, and don't, if you're shy, or we've had people actually join the show from their beds before now because it's been a different time zone for them. So if you
Yeah.
don't want your
That's the
camera on, that's fine.
That's the beauty of Zoom, isn't it? I remember that
Yeah.
there's one guy in Scotland, Finn. He's joined us from his taxi before.
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's pulled over between fares and done a couple of poems and then carried on.
Oh, wow. Is that Finn that um, um, Skylar
That's like
was
a dog.
talking about?
Who was talking about? Sorry.
Skylar.
Yeah,
I
probably,
think she met
probably.
up with him when she was over here, I think. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think he
Yeah.
picked them up from the airport, and they went live in his cab or something. I
Oh,
seem to
right.
remember.
Cool. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 So Zoom has got, you know, some people, it can be a bit of a pain, but Zoom has got so much that we're thankful for, because
Oh,
myself and the Blooms all met on Zoom. I've now
yeah.
met with you and the other poets on Zoom, and
Yeah. Yeah.
without that or some other platform, fine. We're on StreamYard at the moment, which is brilliant. We'd never have met. We wouldn't be having these
No.
shows. You know, I've got friends all over the world now simply
Yeah.
through using these online
Yeah.
platforms. So it's,
And
yeah.
the same here. I mean, I was zooming regularly into Nashville. In fact, we were
Mm,
now. I was no. There was a group of us from Britain that because of the time difference, they were 6 hours behind us in Nashville. We were known as the Midnight Poets because it was like 6 o'clock
yeah.
when they did their poetry thing, and we would join the Zoom at midnight here. And we were known
Yeah.
as the Midnight Poets, and yeah, I mean, we met people from all over the world. I mean, not just in Nashville in America, but Australia. That's how I know Skylar and Kelly Van Nelson. People from Brazil and you name it,
Wow.
they were there. And some, what was really nice was some people actually did poetry in their mother tongue as well, which was
Oh,
even better to
right.
hear some of that in the mother tongue, even if you didn't understand what they
Yeah.
were saying. Um,
Mm,
some of it is just so melodic. It doesn't matter that you
yes.
don't understand it. You get the gist
No.
of it, and it's just so
Yeah.
lovely to listen to.
It's
But
it's the
yeah, and
rhythms and everything, isn't it, as
yeah,
well? The
yeah,
the
absolutely.
cadence, the rhythms, and sometimes just, some languages are just so beautiful to listen to, as you say, even if you don't understand what they're actually saying, it's just so,
Yeah.
it's like, poetry to the ears, obviously. So,
It was interesting. There was one poet that lives in Chukanuka, i.e., the Chukanuka Choo Choo. Um,
oh,
and I said that to him, and actually, he lives right near the train track.
oh, wow.
So he regularly hears the Chukanuka Choo Choo
Yeah,
coming along,
yeah.
which was quite. But yeah, and
Oh,
I mean, the different styles as well.
mm,
And again, that's what, you'll find with the art thing, I guess, is that, different countries and different styles of doing
mm.
things and
Yes,
that.
yeah. Different
It
cultures.
really,
Yes, Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds like really good. I'm going to try and give that a look in.
Good. Brilliant. I hope you do. It'd be great to see
Yeah.
you there. But Marky Mark, I cannot believe it. We are already at the end of our time.
Wow,
Where
that's
did
gone
that go?
quick.
It's gone very quick. So thank you everybody for watching. Thank you so much, Marky Mark, for writing another, well, absolutely superb poem. Loved it to bits and being on the show. And hopefully you'll come back again very soon.
I will whenever you want me to.
Lovely. Thank you so much. And thank you, as I say, everybody for watching, whether it's live or replay. Take care. And next week is the 100th show of the Poetry of Painting. So tune
Yeah,
in next week.
yeah.
All right. Take
Bye,
care,
everybody.
everybody. Bye.
Ta-ra.
Bye.